It is Saturday, May 21st. Colombian thornless, giant blackberries that taste like raspberries. This morning you got a lot more than I did.
Yeah, I have a couple smaller ones.
I think mine's might be riper than yours.
Probably.
Ooh. Man, those are raspberry sour. Lori's been busy this week. She was finishing up the harvesting.
So I cleared the last Florida Prince because we needed to get the netting off of that one to get onto another variety that's getting close to start ripening. And so I froze a bunch more of peaches and I made some peach jam and made a peach cobbler last week.
So it's peach season. We're kind of like Georgia, peach everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and then zucchini. So don't forget to check your zucchini every day because if you go a couple of days, they get huge. So we had a big one and I did some fermenting. So I cut that up to ferment that.
And we've got a video on Healthy Farm Living of how to do fermented zucchini. We got a couple of projects that we want to get done with you guys on camera today. The first one of them is our old sorghum patch. The area you see behind me here is where we had our first round of pigs here on the property. That was our 2020 through 2021 season. Last fall we came back and behind those pigs we had planted sorghum. We're doing the exact same thing with the pigs from this year. In fact, you'll see from this morning us turning on the water to get that watered. We're watering it 3 times a day. And actually we already have sorghum sprouting right behind where we had the pigs last year. So we're already starting this exact same process in that area there where we have the pigs, followed by sorghum, followed by something else. In the case behind us here, you guys know we planted a combination of some annual crops, some melons, some squash. We also have some Jerusalem artichokes, some sunchokes in the corners of this area. The issue we have now is we had to protect these from rabbits and we had to cage them up. So all of them are busting out of the cage and definitely ready to be on their own. So what we did last week is we came back and we have pig panel left because the pig season is done. We installed pig paneling around here, and then Lori came back this week and she installed chicken wire, and the chicken wire is 2 feet up off of the ground, and that should do a good enough job keeping all of our little bunnies from getting into this patch behind us. We need to install a door, so we're going to be doing that here, and we also need to unleash all of the plants back here that are definitely ready to be on their own.
So do you want to cut this side first?
Yeah. We needed to uncage these a long time ago, but we weren't able to get to this until now. When we planted these, we actually planted 3 seeds in each one of these little pockets. So it's sunken down in and it's growing in the soil that we created in this old sorghum patch behind the pigs. There are actually 3 separate or individual squash plants in here. So you can see just with the soil that we have created so far, just how much nutrition is in here, because we have not fertilized these at all. And you can see just how much growth we got on these 3 separate plants that are all planted within about 6 inches of each other. Obviously that's not ideal, and we wouldn't do that under normal circumstances, but it does give you an idea of just what kind of soil we're already working with in this old sorghum patch, which has me really excited. Next thing up for today is still more soil building. Now, the beds you see behind me here are our fall annual beds. This is where we plant all of our fall crops. We came in behind all of our fall harvest and we planted a bunch of daikon. Now, we've done daikon in these beds before and also basically transplanted worms into these beds. So we already know the 3 beds that surround me now are in good shape. We're gonna continue that process with taking this daikon, leaving the tubers in the ground, taking the tops, laying them down, and then covering them with wood chips. One of the things about this particular bunch of daikon is it's already gone to seed. You can see the seed pods here. Now, ideally, we would have probably cut this back here about a week ago, but we're a little behind. For the most part, I don't think these are going to germinate if they should happen to fall into the soil and under the right conditions. In the end, it doesn't matter to me because daikon will have in this bed, one way or another, if anything else, to build soil. One of the things that we deal with out here, especially since we're here before everybody else, we have a lot of wind that comes in. And last night, all day yesterday, really, we had a lot of gusting winds, gusting pretty heavy. And you guys know sometimes in the desert, we get dust storms, and we had a pretty heavy dust storm come through. Everything seemed to survive okay until I came around the corner and saw this. This is our candy cot. We got this from Reed at RSI Growers. We actually planted it last fall, so it's only been in the ground for 7 months. And well, the top part of it's not in the ground anymore. So we'll kind of take a closer look and figure out exactly what happened. The challenge that you have with apricots, and I was aware of this possibility, is that they can be very weak at the point where they are grafted. In fact, it was really clear when we pulled this apart and put it back together basically that we were dealing with the graft point. And if I go back here again, you'll see it would fit right into there. Now, the challenge that we had with this tree is it grew very, very rapidly. And that's not uncommon for apricots. In fact, when we were doing our pruning this year, I mentioned the fact that we were bringing the height down and bringing the tree in specifically because of this issue, knowing that it was a possibility. I don't know what we'll replace this with. We'll have to get with Reed and see what he has available this fall. We should have paid more attention to this tree, realizing that it was just too tall and growing way too rapidly in order to not have it staked. Just a quick warning for you guys that have apricots, it definitely does happen. These will snap off right at the graft point because they just grow so rapidly. Kind of a bummer, but you know what? We'll get over it. It is starting to get warm today. We actually have a little bit of a break this week in the weather. I think today we're supposed to hit 90 or so. So that was a break.
It feels hotter than 90 already.
It does, it's the sunshine. There's no clouds. So it was kind of nice to get that little basil harvest today, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited because anytime we've grown basil, I've always just used it fresh. So I'm gonna try drying it this time because I do use a lot of dried basil in cooking. We have so much of it and some of them were starting to flower, so we need to get them used.
So it was a bummer to lose that tree, right?
Yeah.
But because we lost that tree, we realized that we actually have something else to harvest over there, right? Looks like we have some apricot, maybe Abrams that are about ready. So we'll have to make sure that we give you guys an update and a video on that so you can see what we have going on over there. I'm really excited for that. This week you got a chance to spend some time with Rosie and Lily, right? And they're definitely starting to come into their own.
They are so completely opposite, but they are getting along so well. Rosie is still a little bit of a bully. Sometimes I think she's just trying to play.
Rosie is a nutcase, man. She has a really hyper, she's kind of like a lot like me. So Rosie is me in our relationship and their relationship. So I'm Rosie, you're Lily.
Okay.
That doesn't sound right. So just want to thank you guys for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of things here on the channel. Obviously fruit trees and what you're seeing today is definitely what we've got going on, but we'd love to see you here on a regular basis. If you have any questions or comments, those go in the comment section down below. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That is a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with a link down below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere,
So can you.
you know, they say diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Tie wire's yours.
Tie wire is a farmer's best friend. At least this farmer. It's like my favorite thing.
I know. You're like, oh, we can just use tie wire.
We'll just tie wire
We'll
that.
just use tie wire.
Yeah, you got a toothache? Here's some tie wire. Tie wire can even be used for hinges. It's like that Frank's Red Hot. You can use this blank on everything.
We have so much of it and some of them were starting to flower, so we need to get them used.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna finish the sentence.
I didn't know what I was gonna say.
That was about to get really weird.